On my last DCI video called Modern Sax, I talked about how to play high notes, how to get a good sound on those notes, and the fingerings that I use. For this video, you've guessed it, I'm going to play and teach you some high note licks. Yes, indeed. Before we do, though, I want to go over some of the things that it takes to get a good sound on those high notes. Actually, the rules on getting a good sound up there are the same as getting a good sound on the rest of the horn. You want to follow the big three rules. Rule number one is that you want to make sure that your lip isn't bearing down too much on the reed. You want to play with as relaxed an embouchure as possible. The more the reed vibrates, the bigger your sound. Number two, you want to make sure your throat is nice and open. The way to achieve that is to pretend like you're speaking in a very low voice. When you do that, your throat really opens up, and so try to assimilate that when you play. And number three, use a lot of air and support from your diaphragm. You want to always be feeling as though you're pushing from your stomach, from your diaphragm, and pushing that air up into your horn. Okay, now what I want to do is close up on my saxophone. I want to show you some fingerings that I use for these altissimo notes. I'm going to start with the alternate fingering for high E. We all know the normal palm key fingering is this fingering. The fork fingering or plateau fingering is to use plateau high F and then the 2 and 3 fingers on the left hand. For the note F, you want to just lift up the G key and just use the plateau key and the number 2 key on your left hand. For F sharp, it's the same fingering, and now we're going to add the side B flat, and that gives us our F sharp. For high G, still got my octave key down. Actually, I'm going to be using my octave key for all these fingerings. Anyway, the fingering for high G is 1 and 3 on the left hand and 1 and 3 on the right hand. For G sharp, I've got the same fingering as G, and I'm going to add side C over here. For high A, it's 2 and 3 in the left hand and 1, 2, 3 in the right hand. Actually, the right hand is optional. Sometimes the note comes out a little bit easier when you just use 2 and 3 in the left hand. The sound of the note is actually much bigger. However, if you give it the long fingering, which incorporates 1, 2, 3 in the right hand. As far as high B flat goes, 2 different fingerings there as well. You can play simply the overtone of high C sharp. It sounds actually better and much more in tune if you press down the G key, the number 3 key in your left hand. It locks the pitch in better. For high B, I use the overtone of side D, still with this G sharp G key down. For high C, it's the overtone of side E flat, the normal high 3-ledger line E flat, still with this down here. For high C sharp, I use the overtone of E, and for high F, or high D rather, I use the overtone of either the overtone of high F or just fork F right here. So let me play those for you right now.